spontaneous. I just am bored, to be honest. So I thought I'm gonna go through all my 2024 reading list, because I just thought it'd be really inspiring to know, you know. I want to know what people have read and any good book recommendations. So I am going to go through my book recommendations and all the books I've read and the scores I've given it. And I'm going to start at the bottom and we're going to work our way all the way to the top. I'm not sure how long this is going to take me. But I just thought, why not? Something that interests me might interest some of you guys. And I thought it's easier to do it on a live than make it a video, because I don't know, it just is like we can chat a little bit during the process. So we're going to start with the first book that I ever read. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I know there's such big controversy at the moment. I can't even keep up with how big the controversy over the film is at the moment. But it is by Colleen Hoover, and I rated the book, not the film, the book, 85 out of 100. I read it all in one go. I absolutely loved the book. It is like, I guess it's technically a romance book, but it's not like, it's obviously like a much deeper story. Like I feel like with all Colleen Hoover books, like they all are a bit of a deeper story. And it focuses on a guy called Ryle and a girl, well, it's really based off a girl called Lily. And you know, great book, love that book. That was the book that got me into reading. Like I could read that book straight off, and I think that was incredible. So that's a really good first book recommendation, I think. And obviously I kind of went into It Starts With Us naturally after it, which is Colleen Hoover. I rated that 65 out of 100, which is quite low. I actually think, no, it's not the lowest, but it's the second lowest book that I've read this year, on, or like from the start of 2024. That again is a romance, but it focuses on the Atlas and Lily. And it's just a bit of a, like, it's a good book, but I just feel like it needed a bit more personally. Okay, so after that book we went on to Verity, again by Colleen Hoover. I stuck with the same author because I just thought that's the best thing to do. I kind of was in a groove with Colleen Hoover, and that book traumatized me. There was such a traumatic book to read. I was so traumatized, and it was a great book. I read it all in one. There was no struggle reading it or anything, but I was literally just like, it was a crazy book. Icebreaker was my next book by Hannah Grace. This was the first book that I DNF'd, did not finish, for anybody who doesn't know. It was a struggle to read. It was a real struggle to read, but I don't know if it was a struggle to read or if it was just that, like, I wasn't really just in the mood to read. But I haven't finished it. Still to this day I have not finished that book. I do want to finish that book, but I haven't. So for the moment it is a did not finish. So from that we did a 360 and we went to the Twisted series by Ana Huang. This series has my heart. If you haven't read it, read it. It's a great book series. Twisted Love I rated 90. Twisted Games 100 out of 100. 100 out of 100. That's how good that book was. I actually gave it a star. Like, I only gave a few books a star. That book is one of my star books because it was perfection, absolute perfection. It was me, it was just me, and it was incredible. Love that book. Twisted Hate was 95 out of 100. That was incredible, an incredible book. Twisted Lies, again by Ana Huang, incredible book. 85. I did, however, struggle reading that. It was just a bit too much of a chunky book, and there was just so much in there that was just kind of like it just didn't need to be in there, I feel like, and I felt like I need a smaller book. So that might just be me, because I'm obviously new to reading at this point. So after that series, I went on to the King of Wrath series by Ana Huang. Again, sticking with the same author because I love that series. King of Wrath, it was good. I rated that 80. King of Pride, I struggled reading it, but once I got into it, it was a good book. But I did struggle to read it. And then King of Greed, I did not finish. It was such a struggle to read. I just couldn't get into it. So I haven't read the next book in the series, which is King of Sloth. I actually have it, but I haven't finished it. So then, you ready for this? This is when we opened up to the ACOTAR series. I know, ACOTAR. So if anybody who's on here who doesn't understand what ACOTAR is, you need to understand. It is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Incredible book. Incredible books. Well, the first book I rated 90 out of 100. The story was incredible. I am absolutely obsessed with ACOTAR. Like, I'll never not be. There's never a day that goes by and I'm not just thinking of being in those books. It's more of, I feel like the story is great, yeah, but it's more of the vibes and the atmosphere and the aesthetic of the book that's just incredible. She's a great author, great books. Next one, A Court of Mist and Fury, the second ACOTAR book. I rated that 92, so higher than the first one. It was great, it was better. I was like mind blown, I was like shocked. I was like, I'm not going to spoil it, but... And then A Court of Wings and Ruin, the end of that book nearly did ruin me. I was absolutely destroyed. I'm not going to spoil, but I rated the book a 90 just because of the trauma that I was experiencing at the end of that book. Was just... like, I was crying for days after reading that book. I was emotionally ruined, right? A Court of Frost and Starlight is the lowest rating book I have. I did really like it once I'd read it, but I just couldn't read it. I was struggling reading it. It was a nightmare to read. I was just in a blah reading it, and it was just a struggle. Hello. I'm doing my book list.
Oh right, okay.
Just ignore Ben. He's just, I mean, you can partake, but you've not really read any of these books, so you can't really partake. Okay, so continuing on, we're on A Court of Frost and Starlight by the ACOTAR series. It just wasn't my best. It was the change in tense that literally, like, destroyed the book for me. I just didn't have the brains for the change in tense. It wasn't Favour and Resand, and I was just... you know, when you get besotted, I was besotted by them. So that kind of ruined it. And then A Court of Silver Flames I did kind of like, but it didn't hook me. Nesta was great. I love Nesta, and I did like Cassie, but I feel like it's just not, you can't, like, I couldn't be as invested. So I rated Silver Flames 80. I did struggle reading it, but so after that I kind of went through a revamp of book reading, and I found the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver. I do have a full video of that on my channel, so if you want to go onto there, you can, like, I've got a full book review. But they were incredible books, let me tell you. That whole countryside cowboy vibe I was there, right? First book, Flawless, I rated 85. The second book, Heartless, I rated 98, and that has a star. Like, I've given that one of my special stars. I don't give many books my special stars. In fact, I think I've only got 5 on this whole book list. Powerless, 95. Reckless, 96. And Hopeless, 96. Those books were incredible. They were so cute. They were quite small. They were quite quick books to read. and I think it was just constant, like there was no dawdling. I hate dawdling in a book. It was one thing to the next thing, and it was just heavenly. Great series. The star books, there's actually 2 star books. I rated Hopeless, the last book, a star, and I rated the second book a star, but all of them incredible. Then we went on to the Chantal Tessia The Ritual series. This was a very, very dark series. A lot of trauma was going on in these books that I didn't really sign up for, but I was too invested in the books to be able to stop reading the books. So I rated The Ritual a 90, the second book of the series, The Sinner, 92, The Sacrifice, 91, Sabotage, 98, and that has a star from me. That's the book Sabotage. The 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4th book is like a novella in the series, and that was the best book of the series for me. It was mind-blowing, incredible, again because I think it was slightly shorter and there was a little bit less trauma, but it was still very traumatic, so read the trigger warnings. Carnage and Madness were 93 and 98. They were good, but again very dark. It was very dark, and we stuck with the dark theme and we read the Cat and Mouse Duet. Again, I have a video on these 2 books, like going into detail about like what I thought of the books, but they were incredible books. I've got nothing else to say. Incredible. They were again very dark. The first one was a lot lighter and a lot more me, and then the second one was just trauma, like, so take that into consideration, but it does leave on a cliffhanger, so you kind of have to take the 2 books together. 94 and 92 I rated them. Hunting and Haunting, Hunting and Haunting, Haunting and Hunting Adeline. It's a bit of a mouth twist. Then we are currently on the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas with the books Corrupt, Hideaway and Kill Switch. I've read 3 of the 6 books. I'm kind of like in the middle of book, so I rated Corrupt 95. That was an incredible book. I'm still fully in that world. And then I rated Hideaway an 80. I did struggle to read that book a little bit. I've put struggle, I have like a little struggle section, so I've ticked that because it was a bit of a struggle to read. And Kill Switch I've just finished. I finished that, did I finish that yesterday, I think, and that was a great book. I'm gonna rate that. I'm gonna do this right now with you, so it's live typing into my chart. I'm gonna rate that, I think, a 92. Again, a bit dark, a bit traumatic, a bit more traumatic than the rest. But yeah, the last book I've read is the best book I have on this table. Out of all the books I've read this year, this book is number 1. I feel like this book, you either love it or you hate it. If you hate it, you hate it. There's nothing you can do, you just hate it. If you love it, you're sold. I'm sold. I'm mind blown. Sold. It is called, by Penelope Douglas again, Credence. I feel like it's a bit you can't even say it. 100 out of 100. It has a star product, a star. I don't know what I'm calling it, the star on the chart. I've rated it 100 out of 100. I couldn't get better. Highly recommend it. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. There's no in between. It's a very intense book. I highly recommend you read all the trigger warnings beforehand. But yes, that is my entire reading list of 2024 slash the start of 2025. I've read so many books this year. I've not really been much of a reader ever in my entire life, but this year I have been for whatever reason. So I'm a bit of a bookworm now. I'm in the bookworm category. Hope I stay there for this year, find some new books. I feel like I'm a bit too obsessed now to kind of like turn around and not be anymore. So I hope you enjoyed this live. I hope you enjoyed this little like book haul. I don't know if that's the right word. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back really soon with another live video. I won't be back again today. I mean, I might be, but you know. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit that subscribe button, hit the post notification button on so you know when I just randomly go live, because I do that. Give this video a double tap, give it a like. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back really soon with another video.